Have you ever thought about how the world was created? What is the fundamental building block of life? Well, we are here to talk about that very component, matter. Matter is anything that has a mass and occupies space. Pencils, books, clips, land, air, ice, etc. are various kinds of matter. Every single matter is made up of tiny particles. Some particles are so small they can't be seen by naked eyes. Let's study the properties of matter, particles of matter. As stated earlier, each material is made up of particles. These particles have some properties. They can affect the condition and properties of the material. The three properties exhibited by matter particles are: particles have space between them. There are small gaps in a matter within each atom. This is the principle behind the solubility of material when added to other substances. Let's understand this with an example. Take a bottle of water. Put a teaspoon of salt or sugar and blend well. You'll observe that the water is clear. When dissolved, the salt or sugar particles join the interparticiple gap between the water particles. This proves that there are differences between the particles of the material. If you add more salt or sugar, it will dissolve only until all the gap between the water particles is full. Particles are continuously traveling. The kinetic energy in particles helps them move. The spread of ink in a glass beaker, the scent of incense sticks, etc. are some indicators of movement in the particles of a material. The process of the ions of two distinct kinds of matter intermingling on their own is called diffusion. Particles are attracted to each other. Take an iron rod, a chalk stick, and ink. Try to break either of these. Which of these is simple to break? The iron rod is heavier than the other two particles. What makes it stronger? Yes, the particles in them are held by the interparticiple power of attraction. There is an interparticiple attraction force working between the particles in each material. We need to counteract this force to break something. The intensity of the force differs from material to material. The interparticiple force of attraction and the kinetic energy of the particles mainly decide the physical condition of every substance. Is matter so versatile, or does it have some physical properties that govern its functionality? Properties of matter. Scientists have been studying the chemical and physical properties of matter for a long time. Simply put, they describe matter as something that has mass and occupies space, that is volume. Everything we see around us, therefore, is matter. For example, the stars that twinkle, the sun that shines, the food we consume, the bricks we use to build houses, the water in the oceans and rivers, the rocks that make up the mountains, etc. They can all be taken under a common umbrella named matter. But does all the matter we see show the same physical properties? Obviously not. The wood block is continuous when the sand particles are rough. Similarly, salt particles are soluble in water, while sand particles are not soluble in water. Many of these properties are known as physical properties. Let us understand some of the physical properties of matter. Take 5 to 6 potassium permanganate crystals and dissolve them in 300 milliliters of water. Pour 20 ml of this solution into 100 ml of plain water in another beaker. Repeat the process given above with 20 ml of the same solution again and pour it into 100 ml of clear water in another beaker. Keep repeating this process by diluting the solution in the same way 8 to 10 times. Observe the color of the last solution. The solution in the last beaker will be light pink. Thus, we can infer that even a small quantity of potassium permanganate can affect the color of the solution. Therefore, we can assume that matter can be further split into millions of tiny bits. In nature, this piece is indestructible. There are certain physical properties of matter. All matter has mass and it fills some space. They can be divided into millions of tiny pieces. Matter is the fundamental building block of life. It can be found everywhere. We hope we were able to provide you with some interesting information on matter and its particles. Goodbye, see you soon.